Welcome everyone. Today's story is Seeds and Trees. Seeds and Trees. That is the title of the book. And the title of a book, it tells us the name of the book, right? The title is the name of the book and it kind of tells us what the story might be about. So the title of this book is Seeds and Trees. And it's written by Brandon Walden. That is the author of the book. And the author of the book, that person writes all the words that we see inside of a book. So what's an author do? They write the words. Good job. And it's illustrated by Kristen and Kevin Houtshell. And an illustrator, they draw or paint all the pictures or illustrations that we see in a book. Aren't they wonderful? Look at the colors that they use, these illustrators. I'm gonna start reading the story. So I want you to be very attentive with listening ears so you can listen to everything that we're gonna talk about in the story. And you can talk and tell me and ask me questions too, and we'll talk about it. This is the front cover of the book. The front cover of the book. This, if I turn it around, it's the back cover, right? And this thing right here, this is called a spine. Can you say that with me? Say spine. And a spine, its job is to hold all the pages inside of the book. You see? It holds all the pages together. And if we didn't have the spine on the book, the pages would fall apart. Okay? Say spine. Spine. This is the front of the book. Front of the book. Front of the book. This is the back of the book. And this is called the spine. Great. Seeds and Trees by Brandon Walden. In the land of the king lived a special young prince who loved climbing trees and playing with friends. He lived in a castle overlooking the sea. He played in a field with his two kinds of trees. He carried a satchel slung low on his waist to contain all the seeds he might want to exchange. Exchange. That means trading with somebody, giving somebody something and receiving something in return. You're exchanging things. Each seed was a word that someone had spoken. Each seed was collected, a trinket, a token. So he's collecting seeds or words. Have you ever collected anything? When I was little, I used to collect dolls. What have you collected? So this prince, is collecting seeds, and the seeds are words. It didn't quite matter from where it had come. A stranger, a friend, a whisper made up. He rose every morning to water the seeds from each of the words he'd already received. Here he's watering the seeds that he received. When someone spoke nicely, not anything mean, they'd hand him a seed whose true essence was green. But sometimes the seeds would come bringing pain, seeds of dark color whose trees produce shame. There's a nice green seed, and green seeds were given to him every time somebody spoke nice, kind words, right? So anytime somebody said something nice to him, he would collect a green seed. But sometimes those seeds were not very nice. Several dark seeds grew quickly, then withered. Others remained to grow slowly, unhindered. At the end of each day, He'd admire the seeds and go plant the new ones and play in his trees. What do you think the difference is between these seeds and these seeds? What do you think? Let's find out. The trunks and the branches of dark trees were laden with the thistles and thorns, causing pain as he scaled them. Climbing these trunks and these branches was tricky. Each part of the tree that he grasped was quite prickly. Does this look like an easy path to walk through? No. And remember, these were the seeds that were planted when words that were given to him were not very nice. They were kind of mean, right? So this is the path that he had to walk through, and it was prickly and thorny. But each time the prince climbed, he was bruised and was slit. Yet trees are for climbing, so through pain he'd persist. Persist means that you keep going, you don't give up. But each time he climbed up his trees, clothed in green, he felt safe and healed, as those trees weren't mean. So these are the nice green trees that grew when the nice, kind words were planted. His green trees were strong and they welcomed his touch. Their branches grew fruit he could eat or he could clutch. He would sit at the base or climb to the peak. He could rest in the branches or play hide and seek. As years passed, he noticed his green trees were weakening. The trunks at the base of the trees needed strengthening. They needed to get stronger. Now the soil had hardened as life was escaping. Their canopies were covered. His dark trees had shaded them. Let's talk about what's happening here. So these are the nice green trees that were growing. Every time that somebody spoke nice or kind words, a seed was planted, a green seed, right? But if you see down here, all of the dark trees that were planted, they're starting to take over. They're starting to overshadow the nice green trees. How's that happening? I wonder. What do you think? What are your thoughts? He would plant his green seeds and dark seeds beside. Then they'd war with each other and try to survive. His green trees were strongest with plenty of light, but his dark trees grew stronger in the darkness of night. They shared the same water and sunlight to grow, but the dark trees were hiding the fruit that would show. The green trees caused life, joy, and peace to grow near, but the dark seeds killed soil and grew trees clothed in fear. So the green trees and the dark trees, they're both growing. They're both using the same sunlight, and they're both getting watered. But the green trees, the nice words that were shared, right? They help to spread joy and peace and happiness in the world. So should we be sharing nice words or not nice words? What do you think? What kind of seeds should we be sharing with each other? I agree. I think we should be sharing nice, kind words with each other and planting those seeds and then watering those seeds so they can grow, right? Just like we water flowers and vegetables in our gardens. The field the prince planted had started to show many trees of two kinds and the fruit that had grown. The fruits fell like seeds to the soil down below, filled with seeds to be gathered or given to sow. The young prince grew strong and became a young man. He continued to plant the seeds placed in his hand. He invited some friends to come play in his trees, but some like to play in his trees from dark seeds. So even though he grew a nice big field of trees that grew from the words that he planted, the seeds that he planted, some people still like to climb on the dark trees, but most of everybody likes to climb and play on the green trees, right? He had one special friend who always spoke true, her words filled with grace as good friends always do. She never spoke harshly and never spoke lies. She always spoke gently with loving replies. She always gave green seeds and never took back. She never ran out. There was never a lack. Her satchel was filled to the brim, overflowing with green seeds, not dark seeds, each one for the sowing. So this friend, what kind of seeds is she sharing with the prince? She's sharing green seeds. She's a very nice person. She always speaks kind words. She never speaks dark words, right? Mean words. She always gives him green seeds and she never takes any of them back. Is this a good friend to have? I think so. I think this is a good kind of friend to have, right? Someone who shares nice things with you and says nice words. She watched the prince till, plant, and water his grove. She watched and she waited until asked to go. One day the prince said, "Hey friend, come along." She humbly agreed and began singing a song. To the grove, we will look down below at the roots in the soil and the trees that have grown. We will care for your green trees and even plant more seeds, but your dark trees will fall as this new life is sown. So they are going to plant new trees and get rid of the dark trees. As he walked in his fields with his friends by his side, the young prince took note as his trees came alive. Green trees swayed now to the sound of the tune, but the dark trees stood stiff, clenched their fists, and seemed rude. Do you think they'll be able to get rid of the dark trees by planting new green trees? After long years of planting and watering seeds, they'd grown into mighty and powerful trees. Look how big they are. The prince reminisced as he entered the grove. He thought back to each tree and the seed that was sown. He admired the beauty the green seeds created, but noticed at the roots they were sadly ill-fated. His friend came prepared and brought tools along. The prince hadn't noticed, but his friend was quite strong. Oh, look at that. What do you think they're doing? Look at these illustrations and tell me, what do you think they're doing? I think they're cutting down the trees. Which kinds of trees do you think they're cutting? The green trees or the darker trees? The green trees or the darker trees, yes. The tools that she carried were weathered and humble, a pickaxe, a saw, and an old rusty shovel. The friend asked the prince to please pick out a tree, one causing pain that he'd rather not see. The prince pointed up to one skinny, dark mass. His friend said, "Watch this." Then she took out her axe. Do you know what an axe is? It is a tool. Let's see, it's right here, and it can chop things down. Oh, here it is. Next. With one mighty swing, the tree fell to the ground. Then his friend dug her shovel deeply down. Wait a minute. If the green trees are kind words and actions that were planted, and the dark trees are the mean words that were shared with the prince. Then when they're cutting the trees down, what are they doing? They're cutting the dark trees down, right? So are they getting rid of the mean words that were shared? I think they are. I think they're getting rid of the mean things that were shared to the prince, and they're only keeping the nice things that are said. So can you do that in your life? Let's think about that for a moment. When was a time that somebody said something mean to you and it hurt your feelings? Have you ever had a time when somebody said something mean to you and it hurt your feelings? I know I have. I'm sure that you have too. But what you can do is take that out. We don't need to keep that. We don't need to keep those feelings. We don't need to keep those words. We can get rid of them. We can chop down those trees and we can plant new words, and we can keep all of the new, nice, kind seeds that people share with us, right? Can we do that? I think we can do that. So they chop down the dark tree. Let's see. The root had to die and be plucked from the dirt. So they went all the way down, dug a hole, and took the root of the trees out. Then a green seed was planted and covered with earth. Then they planted a nice new green seed. And if you've ever planted a seed, you know that you have to dig a hole, and then you put the seed down, and then you cover it with more dirt, right? The prince then exclaimed, "Can you cut down more trees?" And his friend said, "Oh yes, I've got plenty of seeds." Do you think they're going to get rid of all the dark trees and plant new ones? I think so. Many dark roots had tunneled so deep that it took them a while to dig underneath. Dark roots wrapped close round the green everywhere, so the friends showed the prince how to tend them with care. So here they are. They dug a hole and they're cutting out all the bad roots so that they won't grow again. Her tools came in handy, the axe, saw, and shovel, and others the friend had brought here to the struggle. Then came the day when his forest was green. Not a dark tree was spotted, not any were mean. So were they successful? They got rid of all the dark trees, all of the mean words, hurtful words that were planted, and they replaced all of those with nice, kind seeds that they planted, and now their forest is all green. The friend then surprised the grown prince with some gifts, some tools for his new daily watering shifts. She instructed the prince not to plant the dark seeds, but to go to the cliff and cast them out to sea. So every time somebody handed him a dark seed by saying something mean, giving him mean words or mean actions, he decided, I'm going to take this seed and I'm throwing it into the sea. I'm not going to plant them because I don't want these mean words to grow, right? And we have the power to do that because we get to have control of the words that we speak and that we share with others. The prince held the green seeds, and those were all saved, but he tossed the dark seeds off the cliffs to the waves. Then he traveled to new fields abounding with trees, making sure that he packed his old satchel with seeds. Why did he want to bring his satchel full of green seeds with him? Why do you think he did that? He was going away on a trip, and he made sure to bring his satchel and fill it with green seeds so he can... I think he wants to share them with other people that he sees. To the grove, we will look down below at the roots in the soil and the trees that have grown. We will care for the green trees and even plant more seeds, but the dark trees will fall as this new life is sown. The end. And this is the author who wrote the story. And he says, be careful what you water, for it will surely grow. Did you like this story? I like this story, and you know why? I'm going to tell you why. I like this story because we all have words. We all have words that we share with the people that we see everywhere that we go, right? And sometimes our words can be really nice, and sometimes our words can be kind of mean. And we don't want to share those mean words. We want to water the seeds that are shared to us by nice, kind words, right? We want those green trees to grow, and we want to share those with everybody we meet. So you have the power to share nice, kind words with everyone you meet. I hope you enjoyed this book, Seeds and Trees, and I hope to see you next time at Story Time. Bye.